Hello, web warriors, and welcome back to the W.A.K cast. Of course, we said last week that this episode would be about nothing but the new Spider-Man 2 game that came
Boom.
out on PS5 not too long ago. So that's exactly what this is going to be. All three of us have played the game, we've completed the story, so there are going to be probably some heavy spoilers in this episode.
All
If you
spoilers. Don't yeah, don't
Yeah,
watch if you haven't
Just put a
played.
spoiler warning on the video, to be honest,
Yeah.
because I mean,
yeah,
I'm not going to be able to get through it without dropping major spoilers. It's impossible.
right. So we're gonna be talking about some things like the story, what we think some of the DLC possibilities can be. I've
Bro,
been
the
reading some
Stooms,
theories.
Yeah, we're gonna
Um,
talk about the Stooms.
the
yeah, we're
Stooms
we're gonna talk about everything Spider-Man 2. So that's
especially
enough
the costumes.
introduction. We might as well jump into this. So I mean, to start it off, what an amazing game. Like
No, yeah.
Facts. Facts.
the
So,
first one was, and like I said it before, and I think it's what I like about this one the most is the first one felt super realistic, whereas it was like, this is New York, this is what you have to do. There's these new renditions of villains that are more modern and upgraded. But this one is just like a
no,
comic
yeah.
book fan Spider-Man game. There is so much content packed into this one game. And
Yeah,
yeah,
and
Justin mentioned the suits. Oh, wait
Oh,
till we
man.
well,
get
we'll
into
get
the
to the
Like,
suits.
Stooms
I'm
Wait
going to
until
be
we
afterwards.
get into the
honest.
suits.
My so I play this game. I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. I've loved him my entire life. He's been my favorite hero since I was a child. Um, Now, don't get me wrong, too, when I say this, like, there are definitely games that I've played that are like life changing for me because of the impact that they had on me, because of the age I was when I played it, this, that, and the third. And I will say that to me, this game wasn't like a life changing game.
Uh,
That being said, it is definitely still in like my top five of games I've ever played.
Yeah.
Um,
Definitely the best superhero game ever made.
ever made,
Mm,
ever even
yeah.
conceived. Like,
So I
Yeah.
it's
am probably
it's ridiculous.
the least familiar with Spider-Man. So this game, and I like we'll get into it later, was absolutely mind blowing for me because I didn't really know about Null, and like I didn't.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of story things that I just did not see coming or and had no idea of, and it was just like mind blowing to play this game.
Yeah. The way they dug into Venom was beautiful because it wasn't just like, we'll save that for a later time, here's this villain,
No, they
but
really
we're
showed
gonna
us a full.
they I mean, yeah, as far as like you said, with like the symbols being representative of Null and the
No,
origins of the
yeah, how deep they
symbiote.
dug, just like the comic book accuracy of things. But like now, they did take, before they even come after us, they did take some artistic liberties with their universe's Venom. One of the
Naturally.
biggest being that their symbiote is immune to fire, which is a common weakness in the other
Yeah,
comic books.
Yeah.
So to anyone who even wants to talk about stuff like that, I will say that Insomniac is its own official universe by Marvel
Yeah.
standards. Right, it's got its own comic books. They're well within their right to create a little bit of lore for this game, but the
yeah,
representation and the inspiration that they did take from the comic books and the wealth of knowledge and how deep they had to go to actually just even know about those things to include them in the game is phenomenal.
yeah. I saw that video. That was one of the only like two I meant to watch like a Easter egg video before we started this, but I'll just
I
watch
didn't
some
even watch
afterwards.
that.
But no, yeah, there was a video about that because their symbiote is only the high frequency noises. They were like, yeah, we know
Yeah.
symbiotes have like 5 or 7 weaknesses, but ours just the noises. Um,
Yeah.
And on another like thing with the symbiote too, I guess Scream isn't always Mary Jane, but in this
No,
universe they were like, yeah,
Not at all. Yeah. Wait,
it
isn't
works.
like I thought Yuri became Scream for some reason
I don't know.
in a different universe. I don't know. I could be wrong, but
I'm pretty sure Wraith is a symbiote, and that's her like vigilante name, so it could be.
No, not this time. It's totally made up. Pure fiction. It's fiction.
That's yeah, I mean we can go ahead and hit that. They
yeah, that's a spoiler right there.
Oh
I
well,
was
I said
Scream
no in the
being
first
yeah.
fucking
like
also
2 minutes.
fucking
Now
Well,
bringing
Yuri.
up Scream,
it's
like
fun because we like yeah, we spoiler warn silly but like yeah, I think that's what if they do a DLC, which they probably will, we all know.
we hope.
The common theory is that the DLC villain will be Carnage.
Oh,
And
100%.
maybe
Yeah,
There's no doubt
Carnage.
in my
I want
mind.
him to be the Tombstone. Like he'll be the
Yeah,
like
Yeah.
like I feel
overarching
like
villain
I
over
want the
three
same.
DLCs.
I think I talked
Yeah.
in a different episode about how I hate like how things become like a recipe for like art and
Oh,
entertainment. But like I want them to follow that
this is a good recipe.
recipe.
Yeah, no, this is
like
what.
give
Yeah.
me 3 DLCs, make them all interconnected, and have Carnage as the overarching villain for all three. Do that
Yeah,
one more time,
please, thank
and
you.
then do it again for the third game.
Well, they set up
Yeah.
Chameleon, dude. So
Unless you want more.
Chameleon is
If
gonna
they
be
want
the
to be
big
like,
bad
oh,
of the
we'll do
first
four
DLC.
DLCs and have
Yeah.
Carnage as an overarching villain, that's a good one too.
So
What do y'all
that's
think
the
about that
thing
though? The
is like
Chameleon setup for the first DLC.
they could either do a 3-piece and start with Chameleon, or they could do a 2-piece and just have them
No,
equally
yeah.
as long.
For those of you that did not catch it,
But
Chameleon is definitely Craven's brother,
yeah.
half brother.
So I think it feels like one of those will be saved for Spider-Man 3. And I don't think it'll be Carnage because the popular theory, which I agree with right now, is that going into the third game, it would be kind of an OP mechanic if opening the third game, Peter just had the anti-venom symbiote suit that he could use whenever. So people are saying that he'll more than likely lose that, but he'll lose it by curing Carnage in the DLC.
Yeah, I
So
could
he
definitely see
won't
that as a
have it.
possibility.
But they went through that whole thing of like, even if you get the symbiote off and you banish it, a piece of it stays in your brain. So people are thinking maybe Harry will wake up, he'll tap into that part of his brain that accesses the symbiote, and he will stay Agent Venom going into
Mm.
3. And Norman will actually be the Green Goblin going into
I
3
fully believe
because
that too. There was a
he'll go
lot of like
Yeah,
insane.
that
references
sounds
to
good to me.
Norman being the Goblin
Yeah.
specifically. So I'm like, I feel like he's gonna be the Green Goblin. I mean, he had the mask on his desk in the first game. Jesus.
It's possible that they might do Harry dirty again and force Harry to become like Hobgoblin, and then we'll get Norman as
Well,
Green
so the thing
Goblin.
is,
But
though, is that they have Yankee or Genki. Genki can become Hobgoblin if
oh
they
right,
want.
I forgot that that's a
See,
thing.
that's something that I really like about Insomniac
Neat.
It's
Universe. Is
in
like,
it's actually in the game. One of the flashbacks to I want to say it's one of Peter's high school flashbacks. I'm pretty sure they either show Flash or Ned because they were saying in that universe Ned is like his comic book counterpart, which was a jock bully. So he was more Flash's friend than Peter's. So it
yeah,
could make sense. I mean, it was weird that they would mention him in the flashback to me, but
Mm.
I'm pretty sure I remember them doing it. But yeah, I didn't even notice it at first, but going through this one, it's like even in the after credit scene with Doc Ock, Norman is wearing a purple and green suit.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
they have been teasing from the
like
beginning, like
no, yeah,
he
but I
will
Yeah,
be the
really
him.
Green
think
Goblin.
because like I feel like the only reason people are thrown off by it is by like how old he is. But like you got to remember, like Green Goblin is not just like it's the serum. It gives him super strength, super speed. He's
Yeah.
got a healing factor. Like he can get shot and just fucking recover
Yeah.
from that shit because he's the green fucking goblin. Because he can
So
run on a wall. He's just fast enough. He doesn't have spider
do
powers and can just bloop, 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 bloop,
do
like it ain't
you
shit, you know?
think that at the end of the game, when he was saying get the G serum ready, was he gonna test it on himself or was he
So
gonna
that's
go ahead
something
and
I
give it
think
to
I think
Harry?
it that he wants it
Mm,
to be given to Harry to save him, right? But I feel like
yeah.
there's going to be like some complications or something, and he's like, "Well, no, I've got to do this, even if I have to do it myself," you know. And then like that's when he's like, maybe he needs to make sure it's compatible, so he like uses his DNA, and then it changes him, and he's like, "Oh, I need this. This is for me now."
Mm,
Because I am the Green Goblin, and it kind of like loses himself, and it's that I feel like they really want to do that full Breaking Bad scenario because like Norman is not by any means like I mean he's like kind of a bad person in this universe, but like he's like
he's
trying to
greedy.
do good in general.
Yeah.
He's just really wealthy and corrupt, but he is trying to like better mankind, and like I feel like the Goblin serum is gonna like U-turn, reverse in fucking now he's like actively trying to destroy mankind. So it's like a complete reversal of character so that he can lose himself.
That or his way of curing the world is going to be scorched earth.
Scotch that.
Also,
Yeah.
dead Spider-Man
I
for
will
sure.
also
Dead
say that
Spider-Man top of the list.
it's very very slim, but the presence of Carnage and Green Goblin does mean that Red Goblin could become a thing, which would be sick.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been seeing some of those being like it's a slim chance that they'll.
Very slim.
I mean, the director said that Spider-Man 3 will be considered the end game of the series. It is officially the end of their Spider-Man trilogy,
Oh yeah. I think
and
honestly, I'd want like
they
just the
might.
Green Goblin as the big bad because I mean that's like the iconic
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure
Spider-Man.
that's how it'll be. It'll
that's
be
how it'll
like
be. Yeah,
first villain through the first half of the game, like this one, and then they'll switch it and we'll
right,
spend a second half of the
right.
fucking
Yeah,
game
because
with
like
Green Goblin.
I guess you could, because yeah, by the end, I almost forgot that Craven was like considered the first villain. Like it
Yeah,
really quickly. It's just like, oh, Venom. Like
Yeah,
Venom is
I
yeah,
the
feel like
one
once
big
Venom
bad.
takes the reins, like you completely forget about
Well,
all
he
that
does
shit
just
involved
straight
in it.
up kill Craven.
Bro, he eats his face.
yeah.
It's
That was
gnarly, man. He
that was
literally
epic.
picks that man up
I
like a
was like,
Barbie doll
ooh,
and
I
just
straight up,
eats his face.
I just immediately texted the boys and was like, well, I guess the theory that Craven is Venom ain't very likely.
No,
So I can only
Harry
text
was
Alex
Venom.
personally because I was farther than you. But like,
Yeah.
I heard us talking about it earlier. I want to go back to Scream. Bro, when we got to Scream, I literally texted Alex and went, "Not Mary Jane," and he knew exactly what I was
Yeah.
talking about. But
Yeah,
something I do appreciate about that, so like they nailed Scream's design. Like if you pull
yeah,
up
it was sick.
images of
It,
Scream from the comic book and look at
I
Scream
ain't
from
even
the game,
question it.
they
Like, yeah, that
done
looks
like
straight out of a comic
exact.
book.
It was great. And then but something I appreciate, I was like the entire game I was like, why is Mary Jane in that yellow sweater? It doesn't look that good on
Oh yeah,
her.
the setup, bro.
I was like, but
Always.
like
The
at the end
sneaky.
I was like, it's the yellow sweater.
Yeah, her red hair and the yellow sweater was
Yeah.
Scream. Yeah, that was pretty shocking. And that's what I was saying with like if they do a massive DLC that's centered strictly around Carnage, there's still the possibility for Phage and Riot and the
Bro,
other
here's
symbiotes to
what I
show
think is
up
gonna
too.
happen in the
Well, if
DLCs, right? So y'all know about the Rhino thing in this game?
yeah, seeing his head mounted.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's like it was cut from the game, so technically like it's like maybe not true.
Right.
Like
They
Insomniac
backed
hasn't
out of
really
it.
commented on it.
They backtracked.
Yeah.
So here's what I think is going to happen. I think they're saving Rhino because I feel like it would be a shame for Craven to kill Rhino and us not show Rhino's death. But we have Cletus Cassidy who's getting the Carnage, and I think Carnage is going to kill Wraith, and I think Carnage is going to kill Chameleon, and I think Carnage is going to kill Rhino.
You think
And
he's
we're
gonna
going to get
kill him
this.
or just turn them into other symbiotes?
I think he's going
Yeah.
to kill him because that's Carnage, bro. He just eats shit and kills people. Because
Or
Cletus is a psycho killer, and so is Carnage, and they both complement each other very well.
Well, with that being said, we can hit one of the first big topics. So they did say in an interview that they are heavily focused on Spider-Man 2 and constantly upgrading mechanics and adding new things. So obviously, New Game Plus is coming. It's
yeah,
on their top
Oh,
priority right now.
can't
They
wait.
said they're not focused on anything other than New Game Plus, and it's slated to release before the end of the year, which thank God. Now, with New Game Plus, they're hinting at the possibility that they're going to also go ahead and bring some new suits. Now, considering that this is kind of fresh for them still, a lot of people are saying it's more likely that it'll be carryover suits from the
That'd be kind
previous
of
yeah.
game.
That's what I think.
I missed a
And
lot of the
there's,
carryover suit or
yeah,
the previous suits is a thing. So like I want them in this game. So
well,
that'd be
that's
kind
what
of
I
fun.
Yeah,
liked. I sent the group that shot of their quote where they basically said, like, we are paying attention. We're listening to every single fan request. So it's basically like anything that people are loud about is probably going to come back in this game. So
No,
I
yeah,
think we're
and
going to get a
something that
lot
I
of
think
those
I think
suits.
was a huge mistake on there, and I know we're going to talk about the Stooms later, but having like it was like 10 costumes
yeah. It
or
was like 8 to 10,
Yeah.
like Tom Holland.
all from the Marvel movies. Like,
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
get it. Holy shit! Just give me Scarlet too.
Yeah,
right.
that was a big request is
Scarlet
definitely should
too.
have cut down on the amount of film suits. Like we could have done without Toby's again. We could have done without
Oh well, no,
Amazing
no, 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 no,
Woman.
no, don't say that.
Hold on a
Because
second.
well,
Don't
because
say that.
I think, especially because they didn't put the
we got the
symbiote
black
effect
one.
Too
on
many
Toby's
Tom
black
Holland
suit,
suits.
that they could have
Yeah.
made the black suit and Toby's suit the same suit because they already had the color variations.
Yeah. They
I mean,
could have
because they should
swapped it
always
a
have the
little
Toby suit.
better. And yeah,
Because like
especially
if they had
Tom.
given that Spider-Man the symbiote mechanics, then I wouldn't say that. But they didn't.
Yeah.
That's the problem. It's like you have a
Yeah.
symbiote suit, but they don't have the symbiote effect. So why not just make that a part, just like you did with your original Insomniac suit? The symbiote version was a part of the color scheme. Should have just done that with
Yeah.
Toby suit. Give us one Toby suit, have a different suit.
But they did while out with the amount of Tom suits and even having it be like when you max out your character, the last suit in the game was a
It
suit
was.
from No Way Home. Like
No, yeah,
that's
like
so
it
lame.
was literally
I didn't even
every
realize
single
that was a
suit
No
he
Way Home
has.
suit. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Like every
Yeah,
single.
not the
Dude,
best final suit
Well, I've
by
been
any
seeing
means.
a lot of the arguing kind of ceases in the middle of like if you were gonna do that, then why not add at least color variations to each movie suit? It
no,
didn't
yeah.
have to be anything
I guess they didn't have the
fancy.
right to do
But
Yeah,
then
well, it
also
had to be
something I know
something.
for a fact they got the rights for that they chose that they neglected to do. You're bringing in all these movie suits, but you didn't bring in any Spider Verse suits. They did bring in
But
Noir, but that's it. Noir
yeah,
wasn't even in the new movie.
like to be
Yeah,
real,
Dude,
Noir and
we could have done without Miles's first suit with the cape. Like
give
we
us
yeah.
Peter B. Parker with Mayday. Do that.
yeah,
That would
I
have been
could.
that
Well,
is
hot.
I think they're
something.
setting that up though. I mean, clearly they had the whole Spider Bot mission. We
Yeah,
saw into the multiverse, so
I've
like
been
those suits
seeing
could be coming.
I've been seeing some breadcrumbs being laid for them bringing the Miguel suit for Peter,
Oh, we need the Miguel
which
suit.
would be
Yo,
cool.
also, what do you guys think? There could be an entire. What if one of the entire DLCs is multiverse? It's like a Miles focused multiverse DLC, dude.
It
With
could
with
be.
Carnage in the background,
What if
but
that just
like
happens at the same time? What if each DLC brings us a
So
Miles and a Peter story?
check me out now. This kind of lit. So we got the Spider-Verse mission in this one. If you collect all the spider bots, you get the cool
which you
cutscene.
should. They're so adorable.
She was actually supposed to be in Across the Spider-Verse, but her scene was cut. That's why she's just a random
Okay, nice.
character.
Yeah, because I don't know
Forget
that
the
But
name of the. She's at a supervillain bar. I know that though.
it makes the question of either going into Spider-Man 3 or having it in a DLC. There is the possibility to have some type of multiverse shit, and it could be possible, could be that that's where Cindy comes from. Now, when she comes in at the very end of the game,
I think
Cindy
that's
Moon is introduced.
comes
She
in
is
from
Silk. She's a spider
Insomnia.
person. Now she either already has her abilities or she's gonna get them. And there is a theory being that she is actually from a parallel universe. Like she's part of the Spider
Bro,
Society. That'll be a mission or a side section. But
so I think one of these. I'm sorry to cut you off right there, but like something that would be fucking sick that builds off of what you're saying. So like I feel like with these Spider-Man games, like the first one in Miles and this one, like so there's like a villain. It's like,
yeah,
oh, he's the villain, and then someone else comes in that's like more villain than this villain, right?
then
Now we all know
villain.
Green Goblin's gonna be a villain in the third game, but what if he's the first villain, right? What if he's the first villain? You're like, oh my god, that's the Green Goblin. It's like, but
Yeah.
there's really only one other villain that could be more villainous than the Green Goblin, and that's motherfucking Moreland because he just be fucking eating
Yeah.
Spider, just
We could go
destroying whole
Spider-Verse.
bro. If
universes.
they go hard, Spider,
Bro,
I don't
what
see,
if
I
what if
don't see
Moreland
that
comes in
coming.
halfway through and it's just like, hey, what's up? It's like
Bro.
he just
That
starts
Well,
eating
that's
spiders.
I don't see
would
them doing
this
that.
would this
They ain't
being
got
the
time with one more
end?
game. They ain't got time for that. Yeah.
Yeah. And that begs the
They would
possibility
have time for
now
it if they would actually give us a 60-hour game.
we could
Hey,
do
those are also facts. That was like a 20-hour game.
yeah, we could do a spin-off game like Miles that's about Silk, or we could
That's true.
I
Maybe
forgot
go.
what my second point was.
Lad, are you dumb? Are you getting rude to man?
But yeah, like
The end of
there.
this trilogy could lead into that with the
Oh,
standalone
I
Miles
remember
games.
because they have clearly stated like Peter's not done, but Peter's taking a break and working on
Right.
the Emily May Foundation. So
I think
Miles is the one and only Spider-Man of New York now,
no, yeah,
which
I
is
think
pretty
honestly,
fire.
Get him, Miles.
just
Get him.
Do it,
all
do it.
media has been going that direction. I mean, let's be honest here. Like Spider-Man has
Mm.
been like I'm gonna say like the most popular superhero, but it's consistently been in at least the top 5 for like what
Yeah, I'd say
7
that's fair.
years.
Top 5 for sure.
Yeah, I
Like
mean,
it's been a
it's one
long
of.
time. It
I'm
might
pretty
be
sure
time for
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man to move on from that, man. I mean, when you think about it, like think about well, maybe not Batman or Superman. They're bad examples, but like Green Lantern, like there's like multiple Green Lanterns. There's multiple Flashes. You know,
Yeah,
I know these are all DC characters, but still,
I'm almost popular.
there's multiple Captain Americas.
Almost positive that Spider-Man is the most popular comic book character ever.
I would believe that nowadays. Absolutely. He's so,
Yeah.
I mean, they probably make so much damn money off of Spider Man.
Oh, I gotta check it, dude.
All them royalties. He's everywhere.
Well, even though we've kind of veered off into theories and
Yeah,
stuff,
it's Spider-Man.
yeah, the suits, the
It
Wolverine
might be
suit,
time to pass the mantles. Oh, the Wolverine suit from
exactly,
Miles.
and they're passing it to Wolverine, bro, because the standalone Wolverine game's coming.
No,
And
Yeah,
hopefully we'll see some of him in the DLC.
eventually.
no,
Well, I don't know if they'll show him in the
that's
DLC,
true. That might
but
be a
That's what
stretch.
people might.
I mean, that's gonna be a whole. That's a new
Bro, we
IP.
won't get the third DLC until like late
That'd
next
be like
year,
that'd be
you
like if
know?
I'm
Alan Wake
about to
was
Assuming it's a
say
3-part.
they've been playing around even when questioned in interviews. They've been tossing around the idea of Daredevil.
Oh,
They
I have
Daredevil
seen
Carnage.
that.
That's
have.
true.
Daredevil would
Everyone
be
has seen
sick.
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I think is going to be the
I'd be
first
down
DLC.
because I mean, like, have y'all had the random fights with like Wraith and shit in the
Yeah.
streets? Yeah. So like, I really enjoyed that shit. That you could just do that with
Yeah,
anybody. Like it happened with me and Agent Venom once, and I was like,
yeah.
whoa,
Oh
I
yeah.
just had a
that was
brain
sick.
blast.
And I
It's
was
like
Miles too, and
there is a whole storyline where uh I don't know if Daredevil gets infected by Carnage or just a symbiote, but his symbiote is red. And I'm wondering if like this would be me. Like if I did the DLC, would be like, we'll call the DLC the Devil of Hell's Kitchen. We'll bring in Daredevil.
it's Matt Murdock.
It will be Matt Murdock. We'll bring in Daredevil, and then we'll implement the first dose of Carnage by having a piece of Carnage infect Daredevil. That's the DLC. Like that would be
Wow.
heavy. That would be
That would
heavy.
be
And
heavy, but I don't know if they would do double Carnages.
No,
Like I
yeah, I
think
don't
we
know.
have our Carnage and like
well,
I don't know
that's
if
why I was
anybody else
saying
will get it
I don't
I
until
don't
think
know.
we
The
he's
see it.
symbiotes are
Carnage.
scary. I mean, because like fucking Harry just turned MJ into Scream and infected half
Yeah.
of
Right,
New
right. Well,
York
yeah,
and was
that's true.
basically starting a
That's true.
fucking scary ass zombie
Dude,
goo apocalypse.
that blew my mind. That whole back half of that game was just like,
You're just like, yo,
what?
that was the
That
first
blew
time you
my
looked at Venom
mind.
and you're like, oh my god, he could just literally end the world.
That
He
blew
was
my mind.
curing the world. What do you mean?
I did read an
Killing the
article after
world,
this
bro.
talking about like Spider-Man's 2 shows that like how devastating a lot of Spider-Man's villains can actually be. It's just the problem
Yeah,
is most of them are too stupid to actually utilize their powers well enough to do something like that.
Yeah.
not in this third game, bro. They all coming
No.
together.
It's
Sinister
going
Six,
Like
down.
though.
Shocker could probably start an earthquake that like destroys the East Coast if he really wanted to.
I mean,
But
yeah,
he's not
there's
smart enough.
these mofos at Endgame. You know what happened in Endgame? The main character of the MCU died, man. I mean, it's
That is
it's
true.
possible
I
that
mean, was Iron
Peter
Man the
could
main
die
character
in
though?
Spider-Man 3. Fuck it. It was the first
That would be
MCU
sad,
movie.
bro.
Iron Man was the centerfold of the MCU, dog.
He
I don't know,
was.
man. Steve Rogers is pretty pivotal.
No, Iron Man came out first. It put the team on his back, dude, and it just ran with the MCU.
Technically, the Hulk movies came out first, dude.
That's not part of the MCU.
Bonk the Hulk, dude. Bonk the Hulk.
Whoa.
Whoa, dude. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not a big Hulk fan. It's just it's all right, I guess. But yeah,
Damn.
speaking of
Back to
suits,
Spider
still
Man.
back to suits. I just saw not too long ago that they are also, I don't know if they're artists or if they're like, semi-famous people or like who they are, but they are designing suits for the game that'll be
Oh, I saw that.
completely
Yeah.
original, and that'll be coming at some point later down the
We already got
road.
some of those.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah,
another collaboration with like some
My thing is
celebrities
like
or
a lot of
something.
those suits
one
were
of them's
like
a Formula One
cool, but
driver or something. I saw that there'll be a Formula One Spider-Man, which is kind of why the helmet suits. Too many
I wonder if
suits
it's
with
a call out to
helmets.
that PlayStation movie that came out or whatever it
it's
is.
Oh, Gran Turismo.
stick
That
from
was that Gran Turismo? Yeah, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Or F1. So
I'm
I don't know.
pretty sure that's
I
the
just want them to
scheme.
bring back all the comic book suits that they seem to forget about. That
Yeah.
bothers me. Like, out of all the things,
And I
like out of all
mean,
the details you go
I'm
through,
sure they're coming, man. I think they wanted a fresh game and they didn't want people complaining that they were recycling suits.
I'm
And they
I
complaining
still
think
that
the
got
they
to
weren't
first
recycling the
first
suits.
chance I know, and a first
they've
chance
Just
got
I
to
give me
think they'll
all the
save
give it
suits.
to
some
him.
Like, all the
too.
suits you got from the first one already unlocked. Boom. You're like, yeah. I'd be
What they
like,
Yeah,
want
I
us to use
mean,
their new suits, man.
they had to save some for Spider-Man 3, dog. I mean, they got to
Spider-Man
space
3
out
will
what's
have the
left.
biggest library of suits.
no,
Don't
yeah.
even worry.
Spider-Man 3 should have literally every single suit. If it's been in the game, if it was talked about in the game, if it was talked about by a developer that got fired before the game's development, that shit's gonna be in the
If it was in
game.
a comment trash talking the game on Facebook, they're gonna put it in the like
All right.
that would be sick. But
No,
yeah,
yeah.
I mean they already had the color change variations and all that crazy shit. So hell, going into 3,
So cool.
maybe
Oh
we
my
could mix and match finally. That'd
god.
be pretty cool. I'd like to
Bro, that
like
would be
make a
fucking gnarly.
Spider-Man suit.
That would
That'd
be
be pretty
sick. That
fun.
that's the next step, right? Just
All
get
right.
to create our own kind
Here's
of.
the
Yeah.
thing, Insomniac. If you can figure out a way that will allow me to customize Spider-Man for an hour and still not be fully satisfied, then I think you're doing the suits correctly.
I don't know. That seems out of their that seems out of their development realm. Like that's
Oh
crazy.
no, yeah. I
If
will
you can
say though,
cyberpunk this shit, bro, I
the
mean,
game is fantastic, but I think like its length and then some of like these comments are going to prevent it from like getting Game of the Year.
Well, no, it's
yeah,
not getting game of the year. It's
probably
might
not.
get best action game of the year. It's definitely going to be in contentions for best like music and sound design.
Yeah,
Because
score was
holy shit,
amazing. I think it's going to go toe
only
to toe
Final
with Final
Fantasy
Fantasy.
16. Those are the only two in my head that can
Yeah,
like hold that crown. Because God, the sound design for this game was perfect.
It's great.
Miles had the best suits though. Holy.
yeah. I mean,
Mi-
in turn, well, that was actually something that I kind of was iffy about, as I was like, Miles got a lot of recycled suits, and I would have liked
yeah,
to see a bigger,
but a lot
fresh
of them got
palette.
variations, which was nice.
Yeah,
But they
and
went hard with the
Miles
Venom suits.
went hard with the
No,
symbiote
yeah,
The
I
suit.
had that same
Wolverine
like
suit, bro. I
Miles'
know
Venom suit,
everybody thought the
bro.
same.
The fucking what was it? The Darkest Night suit? It wasn't the Darkest Night.
It was, yeah, that
Bro,
The
I
King
got
of
it pulled
and
up
Darkness.
right
King of
King
here.
of
Darkness
Darkness. That shit.
and the Absolute Carnage suit are
Yeah.
just nasty.
The thing is I like the Dark
Crazy.
Ages suit too, the one with the little hood in the back, and that was like
Yeah.
inspired by Todd McFarlane's
Right.
Spawn.
Yeah, that
And that
is
suit was
Oh,
so fire.
crazy cool.
well, bro, Todd McFarlane created Venom, so that's a sweet shout out to Todd.
Yeah.
Nah,
That's
yeah.
The
cool.
city
Dark
sound
Ages
suit,
suit was
Miles with his
so
vest
nice. I
and
was
See,
fucking
very upset that
fedora.
Miles did not get Venom powers because of
that's
that.
kind of whack. I'm gonna be real. A lot of Miles is like I didn't wear the Craven suit. I didn't
Oh,
wear
I
the
didn't like
City
Craven
Sound
suit.
suit.
I loved the city
I
sound
wore the
suit.
Mysterio suit because
I
they
wore that
had
one
the
on
The
White
there.
Mysterio
Ranger
suit,
looking one.
I
I wore
like
the
the
red version of it a lot.
And the
Oh,
whole, bro, I've seen
sick.
like whole ass clips on Instagram of people being like mad fucking White Ranger love and just showing Miles
yeah.
in that suit. And
There are
I'm
so
like,
many suits that
bro.
I'm like,
Yeah.
this
I
isn't a
did like
Power
the
Ranger.
Wakanda suit too.
Yeah, the
His
I know
Black
it
Wakanda
looked
Panther
weird
suit.
suit
from
is
the
sick.
front, but like if you actually put it on and swung around the city in it, it looked great. It really
Yeah, I wore it. I think I'm wearing it now, actually.
Nice.
it's one of
That
them
was
sneakers.
cool.
It's a
I ended
sneaker
up wearing
suit.
his upgraded suit with the purple trim, dude. Or no, it's the classic suit with the purple trim,
So a
bro.
combo that
Woo.
really grew on me, especially with the updates of like or suit pristineness, was the Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit with the big eyes. And then Miles also had one with the big eyes, and it was like the suit from the first one where he's got like the knee pads and he's wearing
Oh
his
yeah.
Yeah.
Adidas. But there was an alternate color that was like Miles colors. It was like red on the bottom
Yeah.
with the black and the red webbing. And I wore that and the Amazing Spider-Man suit looked really
I
good
also
next to
really
each other.
liked the 10th anniversary suit for Miles too. The color combos with that
Yeah.
were wild.
Yeah,
That's the one I wore the most because it
Oh
just
nice.
fit. It was just
It's
cool.
so cool, yeah.
The hoodie or the little shirt with the
I,
face cover was
yeah.
fire.
And of course,
Yeah.
the day that with variations. Like that's
The
the
big
thing. Like,
After
I liked the black hoodie.
after
yeah.
one.
completing the game, my biggest combo was the classic symbiote style, but in white, and then the
Ooh,
white King of Darkness for Miles. That shit was fire. But
ooh,
Yeah, it sounds pretty cool.
you
that's
gotta
dope.
shout out of all of Peter's suits, they give us the classic symbiote, which looks fire. You've got it in
Love
white,
it.
purple,
Purple, bro.
and
I lost my shit. I was like, yes, I'm about to
Red
be
and
purple.
blue
the red and blue
double.
reflections from the 90s animated cartoon, bro.
That
That
was pretty
shit
good.
looks
That messes
so
with your eyes
good.
after a while.
Yeah, picture mode though, that shit looks so good. But the
Ooh,
purple symbiote suit was what I finished the game in. That shit was
All
nice.
hard.
right. All right.
I
My
I
thing is
finished the
like
game with both
my
suits,
all
but
time favorite suit that came out of this game legitimately was the original Insomniac suit in the
Black and white.
symbiote variant.
Yeah,
That
that shit's
suit,
hard.
especially when equipped and seeing it in the world, is so
Oh, well,
clean.
that's
it is.
perfect. So that
Oh,
my favorite is the classic symbiote in white and probably the Mysterio Miles in white. Justin's is the classic Insomniac black and white. What's your favorite Miles, Justin?
My favorite Miles out of all of them, bro. Honestly, I'm a sucker for those damn Adidas. That's the thing.
The
damn! In his
Adidas
new
get
suit,
you.
Those damn Adidas, man. I fucking love it. I gotta go with the
apparently people are
advanced.
mad because it's just an advertisement.
Yeah,
I know, but
his
still,
final
bro.
suit's
It is
getting
a cool
clowned.
suit. The hair poking out's a
Yeah,
bit weird for me, but
not that one. I don't like the final suit. I'm not a fan. The dreads coming
I've
after hot
got
thing.
I've got a video on my phone from Instagram of like somebody made, and it's Miles landing in that, and he's like, "It's time for a Miles original," and someone copied Yuri's voice and was like, "You better take that shit off, Miles." Like,
What the fuck are you wearing?
It's time for a Miles Morales original, you know? One of one.
That shit's ass, bro.
that ugly whack shit. It was so funny, dude.
Oh my god.
But
Uh,
I thought if you wear the all black one with the red layout,
yeah.
that shit is clean,
you're gonna
dude.
have to get Rhett's Miles and Peter's first. Give me a second
Yeah.
for my
All
mind.
right, so obviously my Miles is the Wolverine suit. That goes
Okay.
hard with all the variations, but
Fire,
like
fire.
with the shout out of just his classic suit with the purple trim, like all the purple they gave me in this game,
Yeah.
loved it, dude.
Purple variants
Favorite
are
Peter
sick.
suit is tough. Like it's hard for me to pick a
No,
favorite
yeah,
Peter suit.
I feel like we were different because my favorite Peter was like overwhelming. Like that is my. I kept going back to it. Like that is just the suit. I like a lot of them. Like Spider Punk is cool.
See,
You got
after
Like Spider-Punk's cool. I'll say at the end of the game, purple classic black suit, and honestly, I really like the new red and blue suit.
fair enough.
I don't know,
Okay.
something about that. It looked really cool, and I was like, all right, sick. Spider-Man, straight up.
Yeah. I liked the Spider-Man color variants for Miles's suits. That was
yeah,
pretty
especially
hot.
his
Yeah,
original suit in
and
the
the wet
Spider
black
Man.
suit.
So like he's
Hmm.
mostly blue on the bottom with the red top.
I
Yeah.
definitely found myself wanting to swing around as Miles more though because
I
of
did
his
have the
suits.
advanced
I can't
tech
believe
suit.
y'all didn't like the City Sound suit. I think that looks awesome.
It's just not
His
well,
vest with the different colors
after
too.
after the update, the suit I wear the most for Peter is definitely the Amazing 2 because it's shiny, it's got the 3D detail now. That
Nice.
update for
Yeah.
the suits really did a good job on it.
I
All right.
Oh yeah, the amazing
So
suit looks really cool.
I
Yeah.
think the miles that I'm going to choose. Um so like I'm gonna give shouts out because Dark Ages suit is really cool, but he doesn't have symbiote powers, so I didn't really
Yeah,
wear it that much. And then it really comes down to two, and it's the smoke and mirror suit in red, which was hot,
Mysterio
Yeah, the
suit.
Mysterio suit is nuts.
or the flag suit
The
with the
Puerto Rican
stars.
flag.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
just
that with
because of
different styles too was cool.
that's just because of how clean it looks next to what my favorite Peter suit is. Because those two suits together look really good.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's a good mix or mashup. Also amazing too with Bodega Cat Miles is a sweet
That's true.
mashup
Bodega
too.
Cat with the different color variations, that's
So
also like
yeah,
top
I'd
three for
always
me.
pair Spider Punk with Bodega Cat because one was a punk and one was a skater,
Nice.
and
Oh,
that was my
fair.
head lore. And they're but like because Spider Punk's wearing like Converse and like the jean jacket vest, and like Bodega's got the hoodie with the Adidas on. And
I
I'm a sucker
did
for those damn Adidas, man. They look sick.
I did see something funny where someone was like, if the cut scenes are too sad for Miles, wear the Bodega Cat suit. And it was like every time there was a super sad moment, the cat would pop out the bag and be like, that shit's hilarious. It like breaks the tension every time.
Man,
Bro,
But
honestly, Spider Cat is a good segue into just talking about the game itself because I have
horrible
y'all
stuff.
did y'all ever
But
do
we
a
need to.
finisher while wearing that cat suit?
oh
If you did
yeah.
and the cat is a part of the finisher and like helps
Yeah,
Oh
you take
yeah,
down
that's
a
for
villain,
Miles.
that was sick.
yeah. That
Yeah,
was pretty
that
sick.
suit has special shit like the symbiotes do.
Bro, speaking of gameplay, like so something too about like these costumes and gameplay, they're kind of related. You'll see why. So like I thought Peter was like whack compared to Miles in the beginning. Like
Yeah.
his
I think
spider
that was
arm powers were
intentional.
like kind of cool, but you don't have nearly as many web gadgets and like they take forever to recharge.
Yeah.
Whereas Miles is like throwing lightning bolts at motherfuckers and like punching the ground and it
Immediately.
explodes. And
Yeah.
it's like, bro, like Miles he can turn invisible whenever he wants to. Like he's the goat in that game. And then you get your first symbiote power like halfway through, and it's
Yeah.
just so devastating. And you're just like, oh,
Yeah,
And
that's actually
symbiote bird.
perfect to lead into the final segue, which is the mechanics. We got a lot of new mechanics in this game, some new features that we didn't have in the first one, and the biggest one, obviously, is Peter's symbiote. I mean, that shit,
Symbiote powers
dude,
are fun,
they did
it's
dude.
it justice.
Strong.
They
crazy.
did it such good job. And like,
Yeah,
what's crazy is like they took me for a spin because like I knew we were getting symbiote powers, right? And I
yeah,
also like low key knew as I went through the story, like Peter is not Venom. So like I'm
yeah.
gonna lose the symbiote at some point. So am I gonna lose access
Yeah,
to
I was
my
worried
symbiote
about that.
That
powers?
was
And
the fear, yeah.
it never even crossed my mind how they would bring that back. Like anti venom was so far away,
Yeah.
wasn't
I
on
didn't
my
even know
radar, and then it
about
just
it.
happens, and I'm like,
It's like that's even cooler too, because when you
and then
get
all your
this,
shit's white.
yeah, when you get the anti-suit, everything changes white, and then if you're fighting symbiotes, you can watch them burn and melt away as you use your
Yeah,
attacks. That
it's
shit is so
crazy.
cool.
That's why I low key think, and like this is something this crossed my head the other day about the DLC. So do y'all remember Tiny Tina's Wonderlands?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So the DLC for that was trash, and that's because a lot of people think that the actual DLC was going to be like the Beanstalk and like the Goblin Mountain, but the game wasn't that long, so they had to put that in there to fucking make it
yeah.
more.
Mm,
And it really feels like Yuri's whole story is like supposed to be played after all
Oh,
the symbiote shit goes down. And I'm wondering if like Yuri's story, like the Flame, was the
yeah.
first DLC package that they had to put in the game to give it a little bit more hours.
that's an interesting thought. Because well, that
Yeah.
would throw off their whole DLC because they have to jump to Carnage quicker than they intended.
That's possible, yeah.
Unless the first DLC is going to be more flame stuff.
It could have been like early stages. They were like, let's go this way, and then it's like, nah, let's put
But
it in
also
as like
maybe
a
not, because
side
there's
thing.
always side stuff like that in the
I mean, there
game.
Yeah.
is.
You
It's
know,
just
like
like
taking down Tombstone and
the way
stuff.
it goes down just feels so much like I feel like, especially once you experience like anti venom and stuff, like it very much feels like I should be anti venom already during this flame content.
Uh,
Oh well, yeah, okay. That kind of makes sense. I can see
yeah, I feel
that.
like maybe it was more intentional that they wanted
And
the
like
missions to be able
like
to
I
be
hope
done
that's not the
whenever.
case.
Yeah.
I do say like if even like if it is just a part of the story, like I do think it is better to hit it after you do the main story because for multiple reasons, but the main one being that it's a shame to get these super badass awesome anti-venom powers and you were like me and you did everything on the way, so now you literally have nothing
Nothing to do
Yeah,
with
to
them
do with your new powers.
besides the random crimes now that pop
Yeah.
up. But
yeah. Which I mean, I do like that. It's like super randomized. So after the game's finished, you go in OP, and then you're just like, I'm just gonna swing
that's
around,
why New Game
stop some
Plus is gonna
crime.
be
I know,
sweet.
dude. I knew.
But that
I have a
leads
feeling they're not going to give
into
us the powers for New Game Plus, though.
I don't know. I think
Uh,
that's how we
I
lose
mean that's
them.
New Game Plus,
Oh,
man.
you New Game Plus. Yeah. They're probably not going to do it at first, and then you'll have to progress to the story part to
Right?
get it.
Because
But you'll have your skills and gadget upgrades and all
Yeah.
that shit
Which,
still.
speaking of, gadgets in this game did not hit as hard. Like the gadgets were cool and I used them a
Nah.
lot, but there weren't as
no,
many,
yeah, they
and
definitely
it was
wanted
a
to
bit
focus more on like the abilities of what
right.
Spider-Man can do,
Which
which
you
I
could
get
switch
it. I
out
mean,
and stuff, which is cool. Like you got to choose which ability you
Yeah.
liked and stuff. So
Spider-Man is
I got
rarely
it.
like a gadgeteer, so like I
That's
kind of
fair.
get it. And
That makes
like the
sense. Yeah.
gadgets in at least the first one were just
There was a lot.
so OP. Like it was
Yeah.
you could
Yeah.
almost run
These
that
felt
game
a
with
little
nothing but
OP.
gadgets and then
I
have a boss
was
fight.
the gadgets in this game weren't as plenty and they didn't recharge as
I
fast. So
think
like
I think
once you used
it
them, it was
forced you to like really get into the combat more
yeah.
because
Combat
like
was definitely harder in
no
this
yeah
one.
Right off the bat. Yeah.
because like
Yeah.
New Game
in the
Plus is
first
gonna be
game like
rough.
I could have done the hardest difficulty from scratch. I have nothing and still not die in that game, but like in this one I wasn't even doing the hardest difficulty because you have to like unlock it and shit. But
Yeah.
like,
A lot
it
of
sucked.
a lot of
I like the
fans
parrying.
are actually sad that like Ultimate is the end because a lot of us have already done Ultimate mode and 100%ed that. So there's a huge demand for New Game Plus to have Superior mode for people who have beat it already.
No, yeah, that's the
That
thing.
would
And
be
with New Game Plus, if
I'm
you
fire.
sure it
don't remain
will.
at full strength, like it's not shit.
Yeah, that'll be fire. It's like you go through at full strength, but we've upped all the enemies to be harder as
Oh,
well.
that's
So
exactly what it'll be.
it's like, yeah, that'll be sick. I hope so. Another big thing that this game did that nobody saw coming, I don't think, is the web wings. Like
Yeah, that's
web
cool.
Yeah, dude.
wings,
Traversal
holy
was
shit.
so web
Traversal
wings,
was probably the funnest it's
the
ever been.
air currents all over the
There
city.
were
You could
literally
travel
times
so
where I would
fast.
like mark a mission and like start going, and then like I would forget and I'd just be swinging around,
Yeah,
flying, and then I would remember and I'd like click on my thing so that my waypoints come back up, and I like passed it like
Yeah. I'm like,
600 meters
oh.
ago
Ooh.
because I just got so caught up in traveling. They made it so satisfying.
Now,
yeah,
on top of that, did you guys ever fast travel?
yeah.
Because if you
Once.
didn't, yeah, I was gonna say if you haven't, at least do it once because holy shit,
That,
the
yeah,
most seamless fast travel
that's
I've
another
ever
Yeah, you just
seen.
thing.
drop in.
You
It
just
is
drop in and you're
almost
right in the action anywhere in the city.
it is almost a pinpoint drop to where you put your cursor
So
and it's instant.
so cool.
That is
Yeah.
crazy. Like that's whole nother
They made the
level.
hardest fast travel
Games
mechanic,
pay
but then they were
attention.
like, "You're not gonna want to fast travel because just flying
Yeah,
around is so fun."
you'll have way
No,
more
yeah.
fun just swinging
It
around.
was it was really crazy.
No,
Um I honestly can say that traversal wise, I don't think there's ever been a game that's done it quite as fun. That's taking into account games like GTA, where like that's half
Yeah.
of your game is getting from point A to B, and like
Woo.
it's crazy how fun
Speaking
it
of
was.
which, our next episode's gonna be wild. I just want to
Oh, if the
tease.
GTA
I
drop and
want to
stuff.
tease the listeners now. There's some
Well, hey,
things
and
happening. Some
the
things
Monday after
happening.
this recording, we're finally getting our Game of the Year noms. So whew,
Oh
we're gonna
shit!
have to do that
And
Bro,
prediction
I'm telling
video.
you right now, it's gonna be Baldur's Gate
everybody,
3, Final Fantasy
Oh yeah,
15,
round of
and maybe
applause.
Hogwarts Legacy, to be real.
The strike is over.
oh, and the strike is over.
Hollywood is back.
We're
We're
gonna
already
finally get
getting
our
so
stuff.
many leaks and teases and shit. So our next episode,
Did they decide to pay people
next,
more?
I think so.
Yeah, they came to an agreement.
All right. So that's actually going to lead us into the last part of this episode. That's going to be our final thoughts on Spider-Man 2. What did we think? What's our overall rating of it? Could they have done better?
So I do think they could have done better, but I'm still going to give it a 10 out of 10. But
Whoa.
they could have done better. I
It
mean,
could have been a
so
15 out of 10. Oh, man.
my thing, well, no, my thing is like I had some issues with the costumes. I had one issue with web swinging. I don't know if it's something I could have fixed in settings, but like, how in the first game, if you like rounded a corner with your web, it would like catch on that corner and momentum would be different. It'll like speed you up and rocket you off. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like the
Kinda,
web had
yeah.
physics or
Yeah,
wrap around stuff. That didn't happen in this game. It like phased through buildings
mm.
and stuff. I don't know if I could have fixed that, and maybe that's my fault. But it
I
did
didn't
bother me.
notice.
I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question.
I
I
said
didn't
10 out of
notice
10
it.
for both. So
But 10 out of 10 though, because those are I would feel like a bitch for giving them
I
a
mean,
9 out of 10 for problems like that.
Super
I
web swinging.
well, I now I feel kind of bad because I was feeling 9 out of 10, but only because of length. Like
Okay, yeah,
it
length
felt like
is
a lot.
something.
Like there was a lot of content in it. So I don't even know if that's a fair
I mean, true, yeah,
assessment,
and
but
I
it
mean, you
was
binge
only
that
like a
shit. Like, it's not
20-hour
like
game
like
average
when we
for
did
most
play it,
people.
it was for like 8 hours at a time.
Yeah,
like,
so like, but I mean, best superhero game of all time.
but yeah, I
They
mean, it was
somehow
still a
topped
fantastic game.
Miles and they topped their first game. Solid 9 out of 10.
Even though I wanted it to be longer and it did have problems, I just feel like that shows how good
That's fair.
what was there is that it still gets a 10 out of 10 with what it has, but they absolutely could have done better.
Word. I
Alex.
mean, yeah, I could lean heavily on the 9 out of 10. I mean, for one, it could have been longer. I think I would have appreciated a little bit more content in there. Like I said, going in at the beginning, there was a complaint about some of Miles's suits. Same with Peter's. I was like, a lot of them, I was just like,
I will say
it's
too, on
whatever.
drop it was pretty buggy.
Yeah, it was super
Yeah, but that's kind of
buggy.
expected these days, right? Like, I mean,
That being said, I mean, they
Yeah.
fixed it fast, but I definitely had the white box replacing my seats issue multiple times.
oh, that did happen to me a couple of times. Yeah, that's
Yeah, that happened a lot. I had a couple missions crash too because Miles would turn invisible, like his whole character model would just disappear, and then the mission would just stop, and I couldn't do anything. It was
Miles
whack.
has ceased to exist. You lose.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, definitely 9 out of 10. I mean, we'll see what they do with the DLC and future
Loki was all a
suits.
teaser from Moreland coming into the third
We
one.
asked
But
Justin this time next year. Justin gives it a 20 out of 10 or something,
right,
you know?
Bro, yeah, we'll revisit when all the DLCs drops. We'll
right.
revisit it and see what we feel
Yeah.
like. I'm be like 12 out of 10.
Sounds like a
But
plan to me.
definitely go check it out. Play it if you haven't. Buy a PlayStation just to play it.
Yeah,
It's worth it.
get you a PS5. I mean, it's
And
top of
that's
the market,
literally
man.
the first game was literally the reason I got my PS4.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So and the
same.
bundle is dropping. The PS5 bundle with this game. So
Black Friday,
Looks
baby.
sick.
The
Black
deals are
Friday,
looking
exactly.
crazy, people.
All right.
The holidays are coming up, so we're gonna conjure up a lot of crazy content for you. I mean, we kind of missed Halloween, but obviously we're gonna have to drop a Christmas episode or I'll scream.
Yeah.
So yeah, we
So,
definitely got a lot more
yeah.
content. We keep going on hiatus, but when we come back, we pound content real quick. So
Yeah, we just jam it down your throats.
Yeah.
expect that. But I think as far as Spider-Man 2, that's gonna wrap it up for our little TED Talk. Yeah, what do you guys think of it in the comments? Drop your thoughts. Did you play it? Did you like it? What could have been better? And yeah, I think that's gonna do it for us. So until next time,
Yeah.
we will see you.
Bye.